The recurrence of gender-based violence incidents in the Eastern Cape has led to widespread public outrage, activists and community members alike expressing their frustration over perceived inadequacies, emphasizing that symbolic gestures are inefficient without systemic change. Calls for comprehensive reforms addressing economic, social and cultural factors contributing to gender-based violence are growing louder. These issues have once again come under the spotlight following the shock-acquittal of televangelist Timothy Omotoso and the rape of a 7-year-old girl in Matatiele. Let's make sense of all of this for you now, bringing the director of Khula Community Development Project in the Eastern Cape, that's Petros Majola, who's with us now via our video link. Sir, thanks very much indeed for agreeing to speak to us. Welcome to the SABC News Channel. In many instances, we're sounding like broken records because we have come across so many instances of gender-based violence, but the past week has been particularly difficult for many women and children in our country, given these two cases I've spoken about, the rape of this little girl at a school in Matatiele and of course the acquittal of Timothy Omotoso. Given the work that you've been doing for the past couple of years, I wonder where you reckon this puts even just the social consciousness of communities that are affected by these incidents.
Yeah, good morning to you and the viewers. Indeed, it was a very dramatic week where we have seen a lot of surprises, I must say. We get shocked, we get disturbed, get disappointed with what is currently taking place in the country. Looking into the matter of Matatiele, where a very young girl who is even unable to narrate the story of what transpired, as she was not in her own senses during that time, because after she allegedly taken to a classroom to clean it, she felt confused or asleep, and then she woke up to find that she was sexually assaulted. So we are a bit confused because talking about collection of buccal samples, the failure of police to compel or to approach the court to compel all those people who are possible suspects. To me, it left us with many doubts in terms of the justice system, and also looking at what is currently happening where people are taking law into their own hands because they have lost hope. And then yesterday was just another day we all felt so numb, disappointed. You did not even know if you're still breathing or you are dead already. Maybe you're dreaming. When Pastor Omotoso was acquitted on all charges. But what disappoints most is that the judge pointed fingers at the state to say the NPA actually failed us. It was more of an on-go because the NPA has literally failed us. So those people have proved to be amateurs when it comes to cases of that nature. They should just look at cases of housebreaking, theft, you name it. Otherwise, when you go deep into trafficking in persons and other type of serious crime, we do not have very good and powerful prosecutors. But if you talk housebreaking, car accident, that's fine. We do have people. We can make use of them. Now, it leaves the country in a situation, and when I say the country, that includes myself, where we are asking if we will ever make any breakthrough, even on this one of the Matatiele child, on the other cases of gender-based violence, on the other cases where we talk mainly trafficking in persons, human trafficking, we talk about sexual violence. Now, because yesterday's lesson was an eye-opener to South Africans to say we are not safe in this country if we would bank on the prosecutors from the National prosecuting authority. We are now like living in a house without a roof. We're sleeping outside. We don't have a shelter. But their failure on the Omotoso one just proved that NPA is breathing with pipes. They are at the intensive care unit. They need to be resuscitated. Otherwise, at a pace that they are running, they are really failing the country.
Sure.
Now we're talking to campaign and others. But my worry is that who is going to represent the victims when NPA has failed to represent those girls who are crying because they were failed by the state? And
Sure.
I sometimes say, when a defense or a so-called alleged perpetrator goes to court, that person is entitled to a lawyer and the victim's lawyers is NPA. But now I can sadly say victims are just abandoned. They have no one to fight for them.
Yeah. Incidentally, of course, both these cases that you and I are speaking about took place in the Eastern Cape. Your activism has also been largely based in that province. And again, I'm going to rely on your experience so far in asking my next question around where you think this leaves the trust deficit between authorities and many people who are victims of this kind of violence in the province.
Starting from myself, I feel very much disappointed and abandoned, actually. We are left on our own. We don't have anyone to fight for us. I'm saying this because yesterday and the other days, the people who are supposed to be fighting for victims have proved to be incompetent in their work. So I can certainly say that victims have no one to stand up for them. So they will continue losing hope. Remember, we are in a province where we would always get incidents of mob justice because people have lost hope in the justice system. So what has happened now? It will have another influence in the society where people will ask us as we run the awareness campaigns that why do we encourage them to go to the police station and open a case, to go to court and find justice? Because at court now, it is not so easy to find justice. So we have to make a clear statement that MPA must take all their prosecutors to a refresher course and intensify their capacity and training on how to run a trial. Not just to take someone to go to a trial and you find that this person is not even fit. This person is fit for a housebreaking case, but not this one. You don't just place someone on a case because that person is known to you. That is the one who is dishing out the cases and say, you will look at this one and you look at this one. And then you end up taking someone who doesn't have a thorough understanding of what we are doing there. The cross-examination, when you fail on the cross-examination, what is your job? What is your duty as a prosecutor? It's just to stand there and just say, as the court pleases, my lord, as the court pleases, your worship. Then you can keep on, as the court pleases, my lord, that you don't deliver. Because the conviction of the pastor would have said, South Africa is serious about GBV. But now there's no conviction. That man is free.
Right.
He was praying in God. And I look at the victims, they were crying. So we have no one.
Sure. I think many people, of course, who've interacted with you will see you as an authoritative figure when it comes to resolving some of these issues. And I ask my next question with that in mind. Yes, there is dismay, emotions are high, many instances people are justifiably despondent. But what is your message to people who do feel that there's no way out of this, especially people who are victims of any kind of violence and are now legitimately concerned about speaking out?
Just lost you for a minute.
My question really is, what's your message to...
The last part.
Are you able to hear me now?
Say it again, sir. What's my message to?
To victims of violence who are now afraid of speaking out.
Yeah, well, let me encourage them to still come forward despite the disappointment, because as much as we are disappointed, but the matter is that there are other cases where we got the conviction and sentences, but this one, all eyes were looking at it. People would go to court and march, even if I was never there, because we also want to support those who are not captured, filmed, or exposed by the media. So most of the time, you would not even see me in Bebeja, because I would be in Umbu, I would be in Mount Frey, Tsomo, you name it, where those cases are not even covered by the media, so that we support victims and make a statement. But I can make a strong message to say, we will never stop talking. We will never stop advocating for human rights. We will never stop talking against gender-based violence and femicide. We'll never stop talking about child protection because of yesterday's disappointment. From my side, I have gained more strength because ours is to advocate for a better Eastern Cape. So we will continue, and I still invite those who want to come forward so that we go back to the very same court that failed us. And then we will certainly give up when we see that we tried all our best. We tried to give them the second chance, but seemingly these people are not serious.
All right.
But for now, people must come.
All right, and hopefully they do heed that call. But Petros Majola, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Appreciate the time and the work, of course. Your activism is certainly well documented. Petros Majola is the director of Khula Community Development Project, operating mainly in the Eastern Cape.